Kathy, and I'm a volunteer for Citizens Commission on Human Rights. We're an international, nonprofit, non-religious, non-political organization, and we investigate and expose human rights abuses in the field of mental health. We're at the Capitol for these 3 days. This is our third day, bringing attention to the general public and to the legislators that electroshock therapy, also known as ECT or electroconvulsive therapy, is gaining in popularity. I don't know how many of you ever saw the movie One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest many years ago, but that shows how awful and painful and incapacitating electric shock therapy actually is. So we want to bring it to the attention of the public that it has been expanded, kind of repackaged and brought to the forefront, and now it's being given to infants, children, and elderly, pregnant women, and it creates a lot of brain damage. So we have a documentary, which I have handed out for people to watch. They can all get educated on what electroshock therapy is actually doing to the brain and how it damages the people who receive it. Thank you for listening.
Can I get 2 claps and a strike?
Different funds, and we just want you guys to keep us in mind when you're allocating for different funding and budgeting.
Yes. So, greetings. I am Reagan Pickett, a third-year political science scholar here at Florida A&M University. So we are really lobbying and advocating for certain budgets. And the budget in particular that we're really focusing on is the elevating and sustaining student success for $15 million. Currently, it's at 0 for both the Senate and the House, so we're really pushing for that. And what that what that budget would basically cover or entail is it will basically ensure overall success for programs, graduation retention rates. It would also help with buildings, so that would aid in recruitment. A lot of students are in classrooms that are very old. That would also help us with that as well. Also STEM research and disciplinary studies research. All of that is very broad. Currently we are lacking data advisors and professors and stuff like that, and that is very, very crucial and vital to our overall success in education at the university. So please keep us in mind with budgeting and for that specific budget because we need these funds. I'm going to let other students talk.
Hi, I'm Janai, and I'm a second-year nursing student at FAMU. I just kind of want to advocate specifically for that funding. The nursing program at FAMU is the oldest baccalaureate nursing program for Black people in this country, but yet we have one of the lowest NCLEX pass rates. FAMU also is their nursing program has one of the hardest application processes to get into. So like me and my fellow students here, we couldn't have anything less than a B in any of our classes, and that's the same for everyone in the program. So, but we still have that low passing NCLEX rate, and that definitely has to do with funding. Our school can't afford like certain NCLEX prep. Even when we practice our skills, such as like giving injections, we have to reuse needles because we don't have a lot of supplies. So nurses are important, especially Black nurses make up a small population of nurses, but yet Black patients make up the highest mortality rate, and definitely having more Black nurses could help us.
Older than that, and it hasn't been renovated at all. And
Never.
And I feel as if the school is going to be training future leaders like myself, the sons and daughters of America. I feel like we should be able to do that at the best potential, and I feel like we're not at that at all. So coming into FAMU, I was expecting it to be a little better because FAMU is the #1 public HBCU, but the battalion isn't at its best. So if
Right.
anything helps.
Right. So you're asking for 13.5 million. How much is there any in the budget for that?
On the House side, it's fully funded, that 13.5 million, so we are asking that you support the House side of that.
Okay, and so the Senate doesn't have any?
The Senate has 4.52.
Okay.
Now we're being escorted by a wonderful chair member to the secret passageway.
But we can come up with more. I mean, it can be anything. Nothing is off the table. Don't think that your story or your experience is insignificant, because it's not. Okay, we need a couple more of those if we can. Okay?
I mean, we can even speak about, because this is an issue that
Greetings, my name is Malik Patrick. I'm a first year occupational therapy scholar from Sanford, Florida, and I'm also a first year ROTC cadet. And coming into the program, I was believing that the ROTC program was also going to have a somewhat nice building, since it was a #1 public HBCU. But when I got there, the conditions weren't at its best, and I thought that was just a standard. But as I grew within FAMU, within the semesters, I realized that something needs to be fixed. And if there's a program that's going to be on FAMU's campus that's going to be training leaders to lead the sons and daughters of America, then we need to have a better program and a more refined and refurbished building so we can be at our best to do that.
Yeah.
Well, the problem I see is your lack of passion. You need to sound excited.
I'm sorry. I was just trying to.
The House is showing us that they're serious about funding this. And because the Senate is lower, the Senate is saying, we're listening, but we haven't heard you yet. But when we get into budget conference, that's the time when we negotiate the various discrepancies in the budget. And trust me, I got fam first on my mind.
Actually have a lot of my NAACP members, and you see the black shirts, but we actually have the most members across the whole entire state of Florida this year. So we actually revived the FAMU chapter this year and got out there. We have about 247 members.
Well, I truly believe in the NAACP. I was branch president for 5 years, 5130 St. Petersburg. And when I ran, they said I couldn't win because the president had been president for 21 straight years and had defeated all challenges. And when I decided to put my hat in the ring, they tried to attack me because of my addiction issues and the fact that I spent 9 years in 8 different drug treatment programs across this country, trying to figure out how to quit smoking herb, snorting cocaine, drinking alcohol. But through the grace and the mercy of God,
hallelujah, hallelujah.
recovery, I'm now celebrating 25 years. 25 years hanging. March 17th, 1998, St. Patty's.
Praise God. Praise God.
So one of the things they came out with, a smear campaign, they said, you know, that Darryl Roussan, he's home and he's a crackhead. And if he wins the presidency of the NAACP, they're going to have AA and NA meetings in the headquarters. But the program gave me a set of tools by which to operate, a foundation upon which to stand. And I kindly said to them, well, if it's truly a community organization relevant to today's issues, why haven't they had these kinds of meetings before? And out of 300 votes cast, I won by 16 votes. And for 5.5 years, I was president of the NAACP. Then when I stepped down, they said, why don't you run for the Florida House of Representatives? I said, you gotta be crazy. Me, a recovering addict, trying to be a member of the House of Representatives. They said, why not you? Don't you have a perspective of life? Don't you have leadership skills and experience that you could bring to the table? I said, yeah. So I ran. And at the first debate at the St. Petersburg Yacht Club on beautiful Tampa Bay, Bay News 9 was filming live. St. Pete Times, Tampa Tribune, Bradenton Herald Tribune, Sarasota Herald, 400 people. My opponent stood up and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ernest Williams. I've served you well for 7 years on the City Council of St. Petersburg. Never a blemish on my record." But before I tell you about me, let me tell you about Darrell Roussan. He's a crackhead. He's been arrested 2 times for DUI. He's this, he's that. You know, you ever had somebody read your inventory instead of concentrating on their own? So then it was my turn to stand up. And I stood up there and I adjusted my tie nervously like most men do before they speak. And I buttoned the top button on my coat and I surveyed the audience. And I said, "Ladies and gentlemen, everything my opponent said about me is true. It is absolutely true." I said, "But this is a special election. What makes it special is the election is March 25th, 2008. And for those of you who are believers, that's 2 days after Easter Sunday. So we are campaigning, we're politicking, we're running through the season of Lent, the season of redemption, the season of resurrection that leads to new life. How dare a man stand up and suggest that another man can't become something because of what he used to be?" They gave me a standing ovation. He came in 3rd place. And for 8 years, and I wore the title state representative. Then they said I couldn't be a senator, but I ran anyway. And for the last 6 years, I've been wearing the title senator. If someone suggests to you you can't make it because of something you've overcome, because of your past, because of a mistake you might have made, look at them and say, "Get thee behind me."
Satan. All right.
Yes, I can.
Amen. Lucian Satan.
And right now, there's not a stronger senator in the state of Florida on substance abuse and mental health than me, because I have the lived experience. And if you have family members who are struggling, don't ever give up on them. You never know when they might turn it around.
God has in store for them.
Love the addict, hate the addiction. Love the person, dislike the behaviors, but give good positive feedback. What else can I do for y'all?
Bless you, bless
You did it all.
Yeah.
Good evening. My name is Senator Darrell Roussan from District 16, St. Petersburg and Tampa. And I'm here in the Capitol, as I've been for the last 6 years in the Florida Senate, fighting hard for substance abuse and mental health issues. The pandemic ripped the scab off the wound and exposed the vulnerabilities of our communities of color and the need for people to feel that they belong. The feeling of loneliness, isolation, loss of job, loss of normalcy has affected the mental health of our families and our neighborhoods. We need more people, not less people. We need interested people, not uninterested. We need passionate folks to go into social work, go into counseling, go into those fields that will help people feel good about themselves and honor recovery.
This has been a long day for a lot of you. First, I want to start by just saying thank you to everyone that's here. On behalf of the President, our Board of Trustees, the senior leadership of the university, we do appreciate your efforts here today. We also want to be very appreciative of the work that our National Alumni Association has done in helping pull all this together and organize Ms. Duke. President Johnson, your executive board is here, your chapter presidents that are here, and all alums and friends that are here. And I just want to talk for just a minute or two about the importance of advocacy. Today is a critical day for us as a university to advocate on behalf of the things that we feel we need to keep this institution moving forward. But my spin on advocacy is a little different. Advocacy is not a one-day event. Advocacy should be an ongoing, everyday activity. Grabbing these individuals when they're in their homes, when they're on their breaks and on their downtime, when they have more time to sit and talk and understand what our issues and needs are, Some of you may know I have individuals in my family that are in politics, and when you meet with them individually, one-on-one, outside of the Capitol and outside of the glitz and glamour, you really get their time and attention. So advocacy, in my opinion, is an ongoing, daily activity on behalf of Florida A&M. Today is what I call the crescendo or the seminal point where we come together as a collective group. But as Dr. Collins has talked to me about over and over, advocacy is an ongoing, everyday event. I implore you, when you get back to your home markets, if you don't know who your people are, find them. I'd also implore you to not just find the Democrats, but find the Republicans. Those people have to get reelected, and they're highly dependent upon a lot of us in some of those districts that are 49, 51% Republican, Democrat, etc. So they need your vote in order to get reelected. Again, I just want to say thank you. I also want to give a shout out, I'm sorry I missed it, all the students over on my far right. This is a great day. We appreciate your support. We are ecstatic that you are with us today, and we want to continue to see you at these types of events moving forward. And to everyone, if I don't get a chance to see all of you or some of you before I depart this afternoon, safe travels home. And again, thank you for your support.
All right, hello everybody.
Hi, I'm Kevin Jordan. I'm a first year nurse major from Tallahassee, Florida.
Greetings, I am Cameron Williams, a second year political science major from Florida.
Greetings, I am Berlina Thornton, a first year social work scholar from West Palm Beach, Florida.
All right, so one question I have for y'all is, why do you think it's important to vote?
I think it's important to vote so you can represent what's going on in the legislature, so it's not just other people determining what's going on.
I think it's important to vote to be able to express your civic rights, especially since our ancestors fought so many for the right to vote. So I feel like if anything, just go out there, even if you like whatever party you vote for, make sure you're making sure your voice is heard.
I think it's important to vote because as long as you're living somewhere, it's important that your voice is heard and the things that you care about are being. That was okay.